Wow, it's always a pleasure to catch up with Bob Gallant. He's an amazing, prolific writer. And coming from me, that says something because I came from a family where my mother read 30,000 books. And let me tell you, these books, they honestly keep you so captivated that you better make sure you have nothing else to do in your life because you're going to want to finish it. So in other words, they're page turners. Seriously, I'm not kidding about that. So Bob, once again, I know you have some exciting things to talk about. It's great to catch up with you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and your listeners, Kate. It's like a fun day, and I wish happy holidays to all of you. We're in the process of pretty much wrapping up 2018, but 2019 is going to be a busy time for us. I've already set up to attend the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books in April. Yes, April 13th to 14th. And that's going to be interesting. And then I go across the country end of May, the 29th through the 31st. I'm at the New York Rights Fair, and it puts a lot of emphasis on books and publishers. And this year it co-located with the Book Expo. So that's two big ones together at one place. So this is going to be the single biggest, most significant publishing event of the year there. So I get to get through that. And if you happen to be walking past and somebody's holding up a copy of the March version of the magazine, Filmmaker Magazine, grab it away from them because I'm going to be featured in it. Now, I don't know how many people get to even know where it is or how to get a hold of it. But anyway.
So tell us, wait a second, Bob. Tell us about that interview. How was that? That is a really, actually, it's pretty prestigious. I've heard of it. So you're right. They don't just pick people out to do that. Yeah. Obviously, all your books speak for themselves. What did you talk about in the interview?
Mostly, again, about the books and how I went through doing them and why I ended up, this is a subject I want to do. I mean, just like on Rob the Vatican. Why in the world did you think of that? And I said, well, I asked myself, what would be the most amazing robbery in history? And I decided, rob the Vatican. And I looked and nobody had ever written on it. I said, that's strange. And then everybody said, it's impossible to rob. So there's nothing to even write about. And having spent my whole career where in business and technology, where they'd say, oh, if we could just do so-and-so, we would be number one in this business, but that's impossible, isn't it? And you say, well, we'll see. And you go to work on it and you figure out and you solve it. So that was my excitement on getting to do that. And then the other really exciting part then was launching Chesney Barrett as the woman in my novels. And as I've told you, my wife Margie was the guardian angel for me because she took one look at the script I'd done and said, if you are going to have a significant woman in this, you cannot make her dependent upon some manly hero. She's got to be the most influential person. And once I made that change and made Chesney Barrett the most important person in it, the story got so much better. I just said, wow, this is really good now. And one of the nice things was then all the reviewers said, Chesney Barrett is a spectacular female protagonist taking on evil, dangerous people. And so that really it got me rolling on those. And I've now done 5 books on Chesney Barrett. And Boy, you're the pro there. You get them all. But Satan's Stronghold was the first one.
Yes, Satan's Stronghold. Excellent, excellent book. And then how about this one, the Armageddon Virus? You and I talked, this is what I'm going to read at Christmas. You and I talked about this, that it had such a rippling effect. What did nurses tell you about this book?
Yes, this is one I came up with the idea because I've read where this hotel in Philadelphia had an outbreak there in which over 200 people got seriously ill. 29 of them died. The government hunted and hunted. What kind of a virus came out? What did this? And they finally found out, oh, it was a bacteria in the cooling water system at the hotel that created it. But the good point is then all these people went home with that disease, but they didn't spread it because it had to be there. So I said, well, what about if it was a virus instead of just a bacteria? And what about if it was a new deadly virus, because only 29 people out of over 200 died there. There are viruses that will kill 80% of the people. So I said, all right, I know how this one's going to go. So Travis Weld, the government agent who his job is to hunt down dangerous criminals, terrorists, and drug dealers. And he has a simple philosophy, which is it is so much cheaper to put 2 bullets through their head than go through a 9-month trial. And they're not going to escape justice because they're dead and gone. So he found out a scientist somewhere is offering to sell to a global weapons dealer a new deadly virus. If he sells it to them, then they're going to sell it to terrorists and to countries like Iran or the others. So that became this. And boy, I learned so much about viruses. I started studying it, and it was like, whoa, I got a new respect for these viruses. In fact, the prologue to my book is, if you could go back far enough in your genealogy, you would discover that your ancestors were viruses. Never underestimate what a virus can do. One day we will have to deal with the Armageddon virus. And that became the theme for this. But then I had to learn everything about viruses, and I studied it and studied it. And then I said, okay, the reader needs to understand the things I've learned. So I've got to write this in a way that they don't feel like, what's this guy running? A textbook or something? It's just got to be a flow in the story so that they will understand it. And it was just it was fascinating to do. And when I got this, and Chesney Barrett was perfect for this because she had to go into an organization, figure out who in that organization had this and was going to sell it. And she needed help from some people, but if she asked the wrong person for help, she was dead. So she really had to balance between a whole variety of different people. And then once she found out who the person was, where do they have that virus hidden? And we got to go there, and we got to find that virus, and we got to bring it out, and we got to live through it. Because one mistake and you're dead. So it was a beautiful story for Chesney Barrett. It brought out all her ability to figure out, here's a small clue, here's a small clue, and if you put those together and you combine it with this, aha, that's the person that's selling the virus. and then, and that's where they're hiding it. So
don't tell us the ending, because we want people to get a copy of your book, and it sounds like a real page turner. That's why this is up next, because I've read the rest, but I haven't read this one. This is the one I saved, so I can't wait. And you're right. You know, when you look at your books and talk about characters in Chesney, and you can tell you have such passion for her. I love, and we've talked about this before, that your wife was so instrumental in saying you have to create this character, not kind of a wimpy female, and she is very, very strong and she's like a TV character. She's very intriguing, I think.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she went through a tough period because she was the best swimmer in the world, and she had swept the collegiate swimming titles for 3 years in a row. She went to the U.S. trials for the Olympics. She swept everything. Everybody said she's going to win every gold medal there is. But on the way home, her car got broadsided by a drug dealer escaping from the law, and it killed her mother, and it put her in the hospital. And so she was in a hospital during the Olympics, recovering. And she fully recovered physically, but she was seething with that drug dealer did that to me. And so when Travis Weld came along and said, I want you to find a drug factory that's hidden somewhere in this vast swamps in Louisiana, and she was doing environmental research there, despite the obvious danger, she said, I'll do it. And this was a whole new world to her. But her philosophy was, I will not allow any drug dealer to do to anybody what that drug dealer did to me. And I'll do what I got to do to keep them from doing it. And so this re-energized her and put her in a new world.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure people know. So if people want to get a copy of your book, obviously they can go to Amazon, and clearly we can see that. You can get the Kindle version too, because a lot of people like to do the Kindle thing. Personally, I like the copies, the softback copies, but some people like Kindle, and that's available that way as well. And if they also, we want to make sure we say this, to find out more, they can go to your website too.
Yes, and my website is it can be www.robertgallantbooks.com, or it can be whatever this fancy stuff is called, robertgallantbooks.net, and
that's how they can find you.
There, then you can look at all of my books, and if you want to order one, you just click it, and you're into Amazon. And
which makes it, that makes it easy. That's an easy way to follow the trail. I know that in wrapping this up, you've got a great contest that you're going to run on Facebook. Explain that.
Yeah, we're going to, for the first 5 people who say, put a message, happy holidays on my website, they get a free book.
They get a free book. Now say, we got to say this a couple times. Where do they go again to do that?
They go to the website, and then up at the top of it, it says, let's see, voice, I think is your voice. Golly, I don't remember that.
It'll be there on the website, so don't worry about that. But so we'll tell everyone, go to the website, and you'll see that. And you'll see the books, and you'll see that you can then enter it and enter the contest, and you'll get a free copy of the book. So you want to do that, right?
Yes.
And also your Facebook page, the Facebook page. So that's easy. Just follow anything. If you, in any search engine, so anybody knows, because people will ask this, Bob, about me too. You type in Bob's name, Robert Gallant, and it comes out where all the places where you can find him. So it's pretty easy to trace you.
Yeah. I hope it becomes so easy that, that on Times Square, they got a sign this way to Bob Gallant's books.
I love that.
Run for your money.
Exactly. So Rob the Vatican, my favorite. I love the whole theme of this, and that's when we first met, and I couldn't wait to read that. And there's so many others too, so many great books that Bob has, including this one, Satan's Stronghold. You know, that's what he talked about. This is a really good one to read. And then this one is the one I've got up on my book reading list that's coming up next. So once again, Robert Gallant, so awesome to talk to you. You just surprise me every time that we chat.
Well, Kate, it's fun to talk with you. You know, instead of it being, oh man, I gotta do this. Hey, I'm gonna get to talk to Kate again today. So it is.
So everybody go find Bob and enter the contest and definitely pick up his books as well. Bob, thanks.
Thank you very much, Kate. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
I'd like to thank all of your viewers, and you can't go wrong getting her book or my book.
That's good. I love that. Thanks, Bob.
Bye.